Hello, my name is Lauren Green. Today I'll be talking about one of the amazing feedback systems in the body, aka blood clotting, or coagulation. Coagulation all starts with a step called the stimulus. The stimulus is the beginning of the long process of how your blood clots. This is basically when you fall, trip, get hurt, cut yourself on accident, and blood begins to leak out. Following this step, the blood vessels underneath it say, hey, something's wrong. This initiates step number 2, called vascular spasms. Vascular spasms are basically when the blood vessels begin to constrict themselves, saying, hey, something's wrong, there's a site that we need to fix. Once the site realizes that it needs to be fixed, it moves on to step number 3. This is called the platelet plug formation. Platelet plug formation recalls 2 steps. Step number 1 is for collagen fibers to be released into the air. This happens when blood is exposed to air and notices that something's wrong. Once blood gets exposed and collagen fibers realize, hey, something's wrong, all the blood vessels, including platelets, begin to notice, hey, we need to go to the site. So the platelets come together and to form a sticky mesh called platelet plug formation. The platelet plug acts as a cap for blood loss. It is the most important step in this whole entire process. According to surgical technologists, blood clotting mechanisms, JMT, it says the platelets or thrombocytes begin to adhere to exposed collagen. It's an initial step in blood clotting and coagulation, and is platelet activation and platelet agulation. That basically means that blood clotting is going to begin to slow itself down when platelets are brought to the site. Step number 4 is called coagulation. Coagulation requires 3 different steps. Step number 1 is it has to have an extrinctive pathway or extrinctive pathway. So when you get cut or you trip and fall and you end up cutting yourself really, really deep and blood begins to pour out, that means that it probably went through your intrinsic and extrinctive pathways. These pathways work together to create a common pathway. Seeing how the intrinsic pathway is inside the blood vessel and the extrinctive is outside the blood vessel, this means that it's going to work together to fuse both of them at the same time. So, in this pathway, they begin to convert different chemicals. This includes prothrombin to thrombin and fibrinogen to fibrin. And the last part of coagulation is forming a myelinated sheath. The myelinated sheath is made out of fibrin. Fibrin is the end result that you hope to see. When you look at yourself after you cut yourself, you see that there's a whitish layer that's called fibrin. Fibrin is the area that's trying to heal itself. So when you cut yourself, try not to pick at scabs. According to fluid mechanisms of blood clotting and a review of fluid mechanisms, it says when there's an injury, platelets release into the blood to help clotting factors. One important clotting factor is fibrin, a long, thin, and sticky protein which forms a mesh hold on the platelet blood. In total, the feedback system of how blood clots is very important to the human body, or else there'll be massive blood loss and there will be an extinction of human life, causing death if it's not taken care of. Thank you for listening to my speech. My name is Lauren Green.
You did it 4 minutes.